What is going on, everybody? It's Go-Karts, Mini Bikes, and more. And sorry I haven't made a video in a really long time. I think the last video I posted was about that torque converter that Go Power Sports sent me for my motorized bicycle build. And when I was about to make a new video, my power went out, and it actually went out for 2 whole weeks. So that was kind of a hell for me, and I wasn't able to make videos, but I'm back now. So what I'm gonna do is show you guys how to patch holes with Weld. Now, you can patch a lot bigger holes than this, but I just couldn't find another drill bit, and the part that I have to use isn't really even that big. I'll get into that in a second. So that's why I'm only gonna weld that big, but you can definitely weld a lot bigger. I believe I heard you could weld up to like the size of a quarter. I've never seen it, but I'm sure you can if you're skilled enough and you have a good enough welder, which this is not. This is my Harbor Freight 90 amp welder. This is not the one I showed you guys in a video a while back because he just didn't want to give his up. So I wound up just buying this one from Harbor Freight for $80 because I believe they're getting the new Vulcan welders in, so they want to get rid of the Chicago Electric welders. So pretty decent. I've been welding a lot with it, and I was making a wood stove because I want to get a shed one day and I would like a wood stove to warm it. But you can imagine that, like all my projects, they didn't go as planned. Now this was a propane tank, like one of those 20-pound propane tanks you use on a barbecue grill, and I had like a potter stand. Actually, there's the top of it, and I had that sitting in there, kind of like that. But originally, I cut the door too wide because I had a different idea of what to do first, and that wound up not working because I wanted to do a second kind of door, but the door was just too big, and I wound up giving up on it. I'm sure I'll remake it, but I don't know. I don't really need one right now. But the point is, why I'm showing you guys this is when I was welding hinges on, I had to, well, I was bolting the hinges on because I figured they wouldn't work. So I bolted them on, and sure enough, they didn't work. And I didn't want a hole there because that's where heat and stuff can get out. So I patch weld it. That's just a mark for Sharpie, so ignore that. But whether you can believe it or not, there was actually a hole like probably the size of my pinky in here, and you probably can't see the back of it, but I plug welded that and ground it down, and you can't even tell. So that's what I'm going to show you guys how to do today. Now, other than a welder, all you're really going to need is brass or copper. I'm using an old shower fitting, but you could use Eastwood sells welding things, so you could actually plug weld. And it's just basically a big flat piece of copper, thick like 1/4 inch I think, on a handle with a magnet. So that would be more handy, but this is all I have, and it works really well. Just you can't do very big holes. So without going on, because it's a basic simple process, I'm going to set the welder back up because we had the generator running because of the no power. So I got to set it back up, and I guess I will show you guys the process. I won't film myself welding because I don't want to ruin the lens on my phone. And afterwards, I'll grind it down, show you guys the finished project. It's really easy, and you could use it in a lot of applications, such as patching body panels on cars, holes on go-karts. I actually did patch it on that go-kart frame back there. I patched a few holes, and like the propane tank I also did. I did a bunch of other ones, I just haven't filmed them. But yeah, and my race mower, by the way, if I ever do that, I have a lot of holes to patch. A lot. So without further ado, I'm gonna get started. Okay, so I got the welder all set up, and I forgot to mention why you need brass or copper. For some reason, weld doesn't stick to brass or copper. Why, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Bill Nye knows, but I'm not Bill Nye. I'm Go-Karts, Mini Bikes, and More. So it would probably be ideal to be able to clamp up the brass or copper, whatever you're using, up to the hole so there's no gaps. But depending on how thick or how heavy your piece is and how flat your surface is, which mine isn't, so I'm gonna have to hold it with one hand. You're just gonna have to clamp that up and then basically just glob in a weld. Basically, it's as simple as that. You just glob in the weld till it's kind of overflowed, and then you grind it off. And if you still have some like little pinholes that's bothering you, depending on what it is, if it's a car, you could Bondo that. But if it's not anything that you could really Bondo, just do another pass with the weld, and then grind it off, and it should be good. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill in those holes, and I'll get back to you when I'm downstairs and about to grind them. Okay, yes, the furnace is on. Yes, it's loud. We've all been through this if you've watched my videos for any period of time. So I just got done welding, and I'm not gonna grind it and then cut the camera back on after I filled it back up with weld a million times. I'm gonna grind it and then show you what it looks like after, to show you like if there's pinholes or not. As you can see, flux core is not good to you. But for some reason, my welder is running really good today. It just arced really quick, and it was hot. But this right here is a result as to why you should hold it there firmly or clamp it up to what you're working on, because then it bows out like that, and you don't want that. I also had burrs, so I wasn't able to really sit it flat. So definitely grind the burrs off if you're going to do this for anything important. But this is just a test piece. I'm not too worried about it, but definitely grind the burrs out. Make sure it's all flat. Make sure it's on there snug. And they were filled in pretty decent, but I just wanted to be sure, and I filled them up even more. And now I have, wherever it went, I have my angle grinder with, I believe, a 40 grit flap disc. And this thing is the most universal grit in my opinion. It grinds welds, it takes off paint, it's just, I like it, and it holds up really well. I've had this thing for almost a year now, and it's just about had its time. So I would definitely get one of those. But you could also use a grinding disc. Doesn't really matter, whatever you choose, just choose your poison. So I'm gonna go ahead, grind this down, and I'll turn on the camera after it's all ground down, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay guys, so I got it all ground down, and it really only took a few seconds. So, of course, besides the part where it bubbled out, where I didn't have it down flat, we go from this to this. Now, I have a little bit of a mark right there, as you can see, and a little bit right there. But this is just a piece to show you guys, so I'm not really too worried about it. But definitely, if you make a mistake in drilling, or you just have some holes to fill in general, if you actually spend some time on it and actually have a good welder, unlike that one, you could definitely do really well. But as you can see, just quick little video, I got it pretty good. You would never tell that there were two holes right there after the whole piece is all polished and painted. You know, if I told someone there was holes right there, they probably wouldn't believe me. So it's really quick, really simple, and definitely will help you in the long run, so you don't have to start a whole project over just because some holes, or you can't finish a project because some holes, just like that race mow over there. I'm still researching how to do that, and still appearing to be very difficult, but hopefully some updates on that soon. And yeah, so it's really quick, really simple. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you guys have any tips to make it a little bit easier. I know there's different ways to do it. Some people just fill in the hole and forget the brass piece, but I just find that a little bit simpler, especially if you're a beginner welder or you just don't have very much experience. Now, one other thing, I made a unboxing video of the Go Power Sports torque converter for their 3/4, or no, their 5/8 shaft. And I told you guys I'm going to put that on a motorized bicycle with a Predator 3 horsepower. And I still am, but unfortunately I do not have the money for that right now. So that's definitely put on hold, just like everything else in my garage. So I talked to Tim from Go Power Sports again and asked him if he could get me a 3 horsepower engine and send it out to me. But he didn't want to be bothered, and that's unfortunate. But, you know, I mean, I was a little disappointed, especially the way he put it. He wasn't very nice about it. But that's no reason to not check out Go Power Sports. Still great people and still great products. So I will be doing that. I will make videos on it as soon as I get the money, which probably will not be soon, but hopefully before summer. I'm still looking for a car, still looking to sell my mini bike and dirt bike for a Raptor 660. And yeah, hopefully more to come on all that stuff. But for now, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check me out on Garage Amino at Go Karts Mini Bikes and More. Also on Instagram at Go Karts Mini Bikes and More. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll check you guys out in the next video. Take care.